Hello everyone, how are you all? I am Ankita Bhagat, your science teacher in Sahajanand English Medium School at Nathej. So as you know that we already discussed about in previous session part 2 the methods of irrigation, right? So in part 2 we already discussed about the methods of irrigation. Now let me recall again the methods of irrigation. So methods of irrigation, there are the two types, traditional and modern method. So in traditional there are the four types and the modern method has a two types. So first one is the moat, chain pump, Tekli, Rahat and sprinkler system and drip system. So first I will explain you, first we will discuss about the traditional method. In that the first one is moat or pulley system. So the traditional method is moat and pulley system. So here the figure is given to you. Now the second one, chain pump, Tekli and Rahat. So in moat and pulley system, there are one of the simplest system, right? In this, the water is drawn from the well or the any water source manually, right? Which is attached to the rope. So it takes too much time and it is also required labor. Now I will show you one video related to these methods, the traditional method.
Let us take a quick look at a few traditional methods of irrigation first. We will look at the moat or pulley system, a chain pump, dhekli and rahat, which is a lever system. The first system is where water is pulled out of water source with the help of a pulley. The pulley can be moved in several ways to then carry the bucket of water to different places in the field. But this kind of irrigation requires human labor. There is also another problem of uneven distribution of water. Thus, this type of irrigation is less efficient. What about the next type? A chain pump? This is an interesting method. A bucket is tied to a wheel and this wheel is pulled by a chain. This wheel is placed above a water body. The wheel, when it turns, lets water to be collected inside the bucket. This bucket then pours the water out when it comes onto the top. Water then flows into the field in the man-made canal-like system. Here as well, human labor may be required to pull the chain.
So in chain pump method, there are the two wheels are there. So first one and the second one. So the one wheel you can see that in figure it is easily to visible and the other is slightly dipped into the water source, right? And with that which connect with the chain or bucket, right? So when the chain is moved, at that time the bucket is filled, right? And bucket is filled from the water source and directly water supplied to the crops. So these are the chain pump, and in chain pump it's also required the labor, right? Now let me see the Deckley system.
Here is to the log. Which log? Can you see that V-shaped log is fixed to the ground in an erect manner? Now there is another log that is placed between its forked branch. This log has a bucket attached to one end. When the log is moved, it helps lower the bucket and get a bucket full of water from the well. This water is then dropped into a narrow canal-like system that waters the fields.
So in Deckley system, as you can see that the water is drawn from the water source. So here is the water source, drawn from the water source from the long log of wood, and the farmers take out the manually and spread into the canal, right? So these are the Deckley system. It is also the time consuming and the water wastage, right? Let me see about the Rahat system.
Now what about the last system? The Rahat system? This is a 1300-year-old method of irrigation which now is almost extinct. This one requires two wheels. One wheel is attached with several buckets all around its circumference and is placed halfway inside the water body. The other is placed on the ground with a rod attached to it. This rod is placed horizontally. It can be made to move in a circle. Usually, cattle are made to operate the system. Humans do it at times too. When the rod is moved in a circular manner, it rotates the two wheels in turn. The wheel which is inside the water body collects water into the buckets and deposits it onto the surface. Canal-like systems then carry the water to different parts of the field. Wasn't this wonderful to learn? But do these methods exist even today?
So as you can see in figure, here one wheel are there, and with this there are some buckets are attached. So when the wheel is turned up, so how the wheel is turned up? So there are the oaks, and what is the oaks actually doing in this activity? The oaks is moved. At that time the wheels are turned up and the bucket filled from the water source, and then after it directly water supplied to the crop. So these are the Rahat system. So this now we are learn about the old traditional method, right? And we know that this method are cost effective or time consuming. So that's why it replaced with the modern method such as sprinkler system and drip irrigation system. Now let us learn about that, right? So in the modern method, first we discuss about the sprinkler system, right? So in the sprinkler system, the perpendicular pipes. So in the figure you can see that here are the perpendicular pipes. So this one. So these are the perpendicular pipes having the rotating nozzle. So here the nozzle are present which is rotates eventually, right? So the rotating nozzle is very essential for that. If it is not there, then the water cannot spread in all direction. So it's only fell down at the same places. So that's why the nozzle is important, right? And the nozzles that are joined to the main pipe. So here is the main pipe. So this is the main pipe, and the nozzle is joined with the main pipe, and when the water is allowed to flow, so from here water is allowed to flow through the main pipe under the pressure with the help of pump. So this is the pump, and the nozzle rotating, and it's get the sprinkled on the crop as if it is the raining, right? So when it's sprayed to the crop, so it's look like a raining, right? Now the sprinkle is very useful for the lawns, coffee plantation, and the several other crops, right? So this type of crop. So this system is more useful is where? So it is useful in the uneven land where the insufficient water is there, right? Now the next is the drip irrigation system. So in the drip irrigation system, so as you can see in the figure, the water falls to drop by drop directly to the root. So here the pump is there, the main pipe is there, here the water source. From the water source the water is come out, and the water is drop by drop directly near the root. So it is called the drip system, right? And it is the best technique for the watering fruit plants, gardeners, trees. That's right. Now let us see how it's work, the sprinkler system and drip irrigation system.
The
supply of water to crops at different intervals is called irrigation. Water is important for proper growth and development. Water is absorbed by the plant roots. Modern methods of irrigation help us to use water economically. Let's study the sprinkler system and drip system of irrigation. In sprinkler system, the perpendicular pipes having rotating nozzles on top are joined to the main pipeline at regular intervals. Start the pump to pass the water through the pipes and observe. We can see that the water is sprinkled through the rotating nozzles across the field. When water is allowed to flow through the main pipe under pressure with the help of a pump, it escapes from the rotating nozzles. It gets sprinkled on the crop as if it is raining. In drip irrigation, the water falls drop by drop just at the position of the root. Perpendicular pipes having drippers are joined to the main pipeline at regular intervals. Start the pump to pass the water through the pipes and observe. We can see that the water is supplied to the plant roots drop by drop. In this way, the modern irrigation system are economical for supplying water to the plants.
So our irrigation method is complete. I hope you all are understood very well, right? Now let me start the protection of wheat. Now the next agriculture practices is protections from weeds. So you know very well the removal of weeds. The removal of weeds is called the weeding, and the weeding is the necessary. It is the necessary. If you are not removing, that it damages the main crop, right? For example, the amaranthus and grass and wild oats. Now let us discuss the disadvantages of the weeds. So when the weeds are present with the main crop, they are going to share everything with the crop. So such as the nutrition, space, sunlight and the water. So that's why we need to remove the weeds. So there are the two methods of remove weeds. So the first one is the manual weeding. So in the manual weeding, the weeds are removing by hand. So it takes too much time. It is the time consuming process. So that's why nowadays use the chemicals, that is weedicides. So weedicides is the chemicals that remove the weeds, and it's also not damage the main crop. So by using the chemicals like 2,4-D etc. So here you can see that the chemical 2,4-D which is sprayed over the crop, and that is not damage the main crop. Now we will discuss about harvesting. So harvesting is the process of cutting or gathering of crop with the help of sickle. So here is the sickle is called the harvesting, right? So the proper definition is the cutting of crop after it is mature is called the harvesting. Now in the harvesting, crops are pulled out of cut close to the ground, and it is usually takes 3 to 4 months for the cereals crop to the mature, right? And you know very well the cereals crops are wheat etc. Now harvesting on our country is either done manually by the sickle or done by the machine called the harvester, and nowadays the harvester is used. Right, so there are the two methods. So there are the two methods of harvesting. The first one is the threshing and the second one is the winnowing. Now let me discuss about the threshing. So threshing is the process of separating grain from the hay. So what is hay? It is the bunch. It is called hay. So in this figure you can see that the all are tried to separating the grain from hay. It is the threshing. Now the next we have is winnowing. It is the process of separating chaff from the grain. So what is meaning of chaff? So chaff it means the outer cover of grain, right? So here the lady is trying to separating the chaff from the grain. So these are the methods of harvesting. Now let me discuss about the storage. So this is the last agriculture practices, right? So storage are the main function. It is the main function or important task. If the harvested grains are to be cropped for the longer time, they should be safe from the moisture or insects and rats and microorganisms. It means after harvesting, the grains have more amount of moisture. So if freshly water were stored in the godown or anywhere, they become the spoiled and the other microorganism also affect on it and making them unfit for the germination. So therefore before storing grains, they are properly dried to remove moisture. So that's why before storing it is drying, right? Now the next is the farmer. So you can you see that the farmer store the grain mostly in jute bag. So in the figure that is the jute bag or the metallic bins. So the large scale storage grain is done in the silos. So here is the silos. You can see in the figure the big tank is the silos. A large amount of grains are stored in the silos. And mostly the businessmen used the jute bag, and at our home we use the metallic bins, right? And generally at our home dried neem leaves are used for storing foods grain at home, and for storing the large quantity of grain in a big godown, the specific chemical treatments are required to protect them from the pests and microorganisms. So if you store the large amount of grains, then we need to the chemical treatments, right? So our agriculture practice is over here, but the only plant get the crop, it is not necessary. Only plants get the food, it is not necessary, but like plants, animal also provide us with the different kind of food, right? So which type of food they provide? So see in the figure activity 1.3 in the table number 1.3. So milk provide cow, buffalo, sheep, she goat and she camel, right? And the egg, or first we discuss about the meat provided by the pig, goat and cow, and also from chicken, right? Or hen. And egg provide only the hen and duck. And fishes, there are the various kind of fishes. So we can conclude that like a plants, animal also provide us the with different kinds of foods, right? So we have just seen in this chapter that the process of crop production involves the number of steps like seeding, sowing, adding manure and fertilizer, harvesting and etc., right? So similarly animal reared at home or in the farm, it have to be provide the proper food, shelter and care. So when it is done on a large scale, it is called animal husbandry. So the animal husbandry, it means the process of breeding, feeding and caring of livestock for food and the other useful purposes. The other useful purposes such as the cow dung and the urine from the cow or the animal, which is used for the manuring and which is fertilize our soil. So that's why the animal husbandries are useful, right? So here we conclude that the like plants and animal also provide us the food. So students, our session is over here. I hope you all are understood very well. Now our next video we will upload in next session. Thank you. Have a nice day.